He's using some blackmailing right now actually. Okay, Randich won the die roll, and I wonder if he really took his signature deck or something else. So maybe the watchers want to type something so that I don't have to talk to myself the whole time. There are 5 people watching right now. Anyway, okay. So we see that he is on the aggro deck and that he didn't open Solemn Judgment. But maybe this opening will be good enough. Depends. I'm willing to bet that his opponent, Gibby Nation, is not using any kind of old twin decks like Burn or Empty Jar, because people on luxury tournaments usually don't like those decks. So it's a safe bet that he doesn't use it. And it looks like he's just going to use the T set, or okay, set and 2 backers against the Kaiko. So for now we don't know what he's playing, except that he's not playing aggro himself. Baristan the Bold is saying, my guy Randich actually entered a $200 money match without an extra deck. Yeah, that's something, boy. If you got the balls, you got the balls. Now we have 7 watchers. There's not much going on so far. Blade Knight next to Kaiko won't negate, but it's going to do some damage. This is going to be long. So he is on gold control and he didn't catch this morphing jar. Holy fuck. Handful of back rows. Now his Blade Knight will be able to kill a set for the next turn, but this Blade Knight probably won't survive until then, because his opponent is probably playing some kind of scapegoat meta thing to out it. But hopefully Randich has drawn into some outs, 2000 ice as well. Most notable outs are of course going to be stuff like Compulsory and Book of Moon, and of course Judgment to protect his back row. And it looks like he has drawn the Judgment. You know, when playing aggro and setting this many cards, you should set at least so much that you have 1 or 0 cards in hand, because this way your opponent's duo will not be as much effective. So I'm afraid that he will God fucking damn it. I was just saying it. Just set your whole hand and then it will be protected against duo. Maybe this will be actually, you know, this might be the misplay that loses this game. The jar not so much, but yeah, also jar. But this was really bad because hitting knock and hitting exiled at the same time, it sucks. So let's see now what happens. But I just hope that the pace of the game becomes much faster. So his opponent is thinking carefully about his moves. If the summon is okay, he may use his priority. He's using it. You know, when declaring priority, it would be nice of the player if he just discarded as a cost, because that's the way the card is intended to work. Yeah, Bomboclat is right, saying here. The start was pretty rough. He's going for premature, and hopefully this will go through. So Solemning on this Sakuretsu might as well be correct, because now we can try to snowball fast. Our opponent doesn't have a Serpent in the game yet, and we have a Blade Knight. This means that Flips will be dead as well. Hopefully we have protection for Tsukuyomi, and hopefully our opponent doesn't have something critical like Heavy Storm. But yeah, now if we have Sakuretsu, we are good. If we don't, we are not good. Okay, Saku is here. And now we can finally start doing the aggro things. And I try to get a read on his back row. Okay, his back row is goats. Now the plan is to kill the goats before he can draw a meta. All three are in his deck. The chances of top decking meta are about 1 in 9 right now. Okay, these Flips are double dead now. But we would rather draw a card to protect against Metamorphosis in this position. But it looks like he top decked something that is either an Air Knight per shot or a flip. But we summoned Breaker, and we are trying to attack very fast. Okay, now we get rid of the Serpent as well. This is a lucky Kaiko. I hope he attacks with Kaiko the last, yeah. And we are careful to banish, I think, Air Knight here. Serpent is gone, so Sinister, so Virus and Abyss are not so good anymore. And the only monster left is Prashat. And the only revival left is Premature anyway, so I would go for Air Knight. And he did. So his hand is this one, that is dead. And the top deck. This, yeah, the dead card was just a flip, and this looks like a bluff, because if it was an actual backer or something like Mirror Force. Oh, let's see now. If we draw a monster, we win. And we win. Game 1. Game 1 is in the bag. Now the siding starts. I have no idea what kind of boards on side strategies our opponent will be using. But like Nicey was talking already, the most common are the two strategies right now. One is beater board. We call it like that. We used to call it like that in the old Horseman server. And the other is basically wall board, or just walls. You know, one strategy relies on walls such as barrel, roulette barrel, spy, or Juji Master to stall the game until you get into control, and the other is basically just siding bigger beaters like Gorilla or Skilled Dark Magician. Each of these strategies has their advantages and disadvantages, but right now we prefer the beater board, but we will see what will happen in this game. Bomboclat is not liking this Light of Intervention, and it really wasn't the best card to draw in that situation, but in some cases it's okay. But yeah, what else to say? Hopefully our boy Rendich will be able to win again. And then, of course, he will buy a beer for all of his supporters here at the GOAT Format Discord. Type what do you mean, Baris Thunderbolt, when you say damn Syushki going in? So also type wheelchair in the chat, and then you will get a free beer by Rendich. I just fucked you over, Bomboclad. Don't type to me because everyone sees you on the stream. I will just close the Discord now. Hey, Rendich, don't fucking watch this chat. You better concentrate. Oh, anyway, you can text me on Discord. I will go to phone and we will be in private. Okay, so now our opponent is going first, and maybe we will see his strategy from the first turn. Yeah, the strategy is keeping the duo in and opening it, of course. This is very devastating, especially for the aggro. It may actually be the end right here. You know, aggro has some doesn't have as much comeback potential as control decks have, because they don't have any inherent advantage in their own engines. They just press for damage and battle and stuff like that. And if your opponent has many more cards than you have, then he successfully counters your pushes, and then that's just it. We will see now. So Gorilla, for example, is a very nice touch if your opponent sides Skilled Darks. Then your Gorilla is just better. Here is not so bad, especially if we can set the third card from our hand, and then their duo can be dead for the rest of the game. Yeah, like that. We don't care about Heavy Storm right now. It's just one-off, and we know that duo is in their hand, so we just make that dead. If somebody wants to send the link to Format Library chat as well. So hopefully there's not a Heavy Storm incoming now. This wouldn't be very pleasant. No creature swap coming in. I hope we have a compulsory. but not, he will still get duoed. It's not, I mean, with creature swap you can sometimes let it go and then compulsory it in the battle phase, for example. The only problem with this play is if they tribute it, but I don't know if he keeps the tributes in his post side. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Anyway, if we can draw Blade Knight now, we are actually doing quite well. So we have decided to attack on the not set, which might be a mistake for quite some reasons. One of them is Tsuku looping. Second reason is just attributing for something like Mobius here. So nobody in the chat wants a free beer, so just I will write it wheelchair. Now this is not looking good because this swap has been giving us trouble. Yeah, this is probably necessary. Hopefully his opponent hand is dead. Yeah, so he doesn't have flips in his hand, but his hand is probably full of reactive stuff. Maybe more swaps, metamorphosis, stuff like that. So he top decks a new card, sets it without shuffling. We try to do our aggro things. Hopefully we have an out to metamorphosis. The battle went through. This could mean that the back row is not Saku, or he's just saving it because he wants to go for a meta with a strong 1000 eyes. At any rate, we are losing in card advantage, so here comes Metamorphosis, it looks like. Or maybe he can just attack the token and then main phase 2 swap. But if nothing, yeah, here comes the Metamorphosis. Now it's not so good. Not so good at all. What? You know, it's hard to be aggro in situations like this. So I guess we will just have to pass for 2 turns, end on 4000 life points, have 4 cards in hand and see what we can do from here, but it's really hard to win this uphill battle against God Control, to say. We still have good draws, namely more pots and charities to create our hand, and then of course Summoning Breaker against 1000 Eyes gets ringed. Yeah, this is a very rough spot, but let's not give up our hopes left yet. What happened? I don't see the lock, but it looks like he didn't. Oh, he just passed. The Renditch passed, and now Gibination is attacking again, of course. Yeah, so it looks like we have about 1 more turn. We're just drawing back rows, none of them which seem to be very helpful. If we let this go, then we are also at the mercy of some tricks like using Book of Moon on Thousand Eyes, but yes, we can also do this. And now we are the ones who is stalling this game. Usually it's different, usually God control stalls, and we are trying to beat it, but now we are trying to stall. I mean, I guess if our opponent cannot expand his, cannot put pressure on us for a long time, because, for example, he sided out his Prashats and Tsukis and Tsukuyomis and No. I think we just ringed our win condition. I think maybe, I never played aggro, but it's just this concept that when you're behind, you try to stall a bit to like collect more cards, and now he is just simplifying the positions further when he is in disadvantage. And yeah, it's so optimistic to believe that this tiger would go through and actually save us. But the zero attack Thousand Eyes actually could have saved us. So yeah, I think I blame this as a misplay. Like I said, it's not so uncommon to side out tributes and Tsukuyomis against aggro, so these Thousand Eyes could actually be stuck on the field for some time. I think we should gamble our luck on that fact and just not release the tension, the lock from the field. Now we can't take any damage anymore this game. Our opponent's hand still seems to be very reactive. No flips, just metas, stuff like that. Maybe some revivals. Yeah, revivals would make sense. Interesting. Yeah, so we have to desperately use compulsory. Oh my god. Here's Breaker coming again. And then it's game 3, more or less. So we get the blade and it's over. Last game. Alright, let's collect our mind, our thoughts, and give it our best. Some siding. So it looks like the opponent went for the creature swaps. This is a common strategy, especially because, but creature swap is just a very flexible side card, because against decks that don't use Scapegoat, it's just actually very good. For example, against burn, against aggro, against most decks that don't run Scapegoats actually. So, but the good thing for the aggro player is that compulsory is the best out to creature swap, one of the best outs, and they are inherently maining it already, so the side is not stressed so much because of it, because you just main the counters already. But one thing that you can do post side when playing aggro is you can try to more often summon the serpent next to your monsters, so just to try to play around swap, for example. Or of course you can solemn judgment the swap as well. Of course the best counter to swap is sometimes Ring of Distraction. This is most of the time the case if they try to swap you Asura. Yeah, because the other two monsters are usually just Sangan and Serpent. They are not so good to ring, but probably ringing in the response to swap in that situation would still be better than letting the swap resolve. But if you have compulsory, as I said, it's most likely the best play to just let your opponent take it, attack you, and then compose it back to your hand. Then, if you can be careful about your token, you have your token as a protection against the second swap, which is also nice, of course. Yeah, this is why aggro should play 3 compulsories without question, in my opinion. Now let's see. Let's hope for summon set 5 pass. This is the best opening that aggro can do. Even better is pot and duo before that. Okay, we start with our basic starter, let's say, and we go for the set 2. Now we can just hope for not having okay, dash shoot is good. We are doing quite well. Let's see what our opponent's hand is. He is thinking in response. We see Juji, so he sided Walls, so hopefully we sided Mobius. So Juji goes in the deck in this situation. Premature Book and MST here. Premature Book and MST. Yeah, we go for the Judgy. We have to go for the Judgy. Yeah, Juju, whatever. Anyway, Book, Premature MST. This hand is not very good against us, so hopefully we can quickly put some pressure on this guy. I mean, really fast pressure, just pure aggro thing, what aggro does best. And squeeze in the damage and hopefully cheese out the win. So he has Premature, MST, Book of Moon, Fate, and Serpent. I hope that Randy Chiu wrote that down. He's thinking what to do, yeah, because he's actually in a very tough spot. Jujutsu might have saved him, but Dash it was good. Now also we know that he doesn't have Heavy Storm, so you know, the thing about those dash shoots is the theory goes something like this. In God Control Mirror, you cannot you can get as much use of this advantage from seeing your opponent hand, because in 3 turns the hand will be completely different than when you dash shoot it. But in such decks as aggro, because they can finish a game in 3-4 turns, the advantage you gain is immediately very useful, and therefore it's much much more important to actually know what your opponent has immediately. For example, this play here is now completely allowed, especially because we saw no outs to multiple beaters, no torrential, no mirror. We can just go for gorilla and tiger. But some god control decks would just what would they do? They would just activate dash shoot, see their hand, and what? Set scapegoats and pass. And that's it. There are better cards that you can play in your control deck. For example, just like stuff like that inherently works with your deck. This is Dust Tornado and Sakuretsu, for example. But he added MST, and this means that the set card is book. We are only setting one, and we are going for another dash shoot, going to see his top deck. We have to be careful about not doing some kind of argument again with dash shoot when the fourth card in draw phase is drawn. Because sometimes they are angry about that. They say, oh, I wanted to chain MST. I wanted to activate MST before you activate dash shoot. He is not happy. Yeah, I feel him actually, because I hate to lose to aggro like this without even a chance to play. But it looks like this will be one of those games, because that hand is really nothing. Just a shit hand. Let's see what he draw. Maybe Metamorphosis. No, Metamorphosis is dead because of Tiger. But he has book. So Metamorphosis would actually be good. But no, oh, so he's doing this shit, yeah. I will just text him. So I'm not the judge, but I know that goatformat.com rules it the way I explained it, but those two players, I don't think they are obliged to follow those rules, but now I don't know how they will resolve it. But I think that what I said should be the correct go, and what he is doing is, you know, douchebaggery. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that Randich should allow to let this go. But I mean, stuff like this always happens. when playing dash shoot actually. It's just that kind of a card that will always cause you know, conflicts. Now we're getting booked. Then our back row is getting bounced and our gorilla is getting killed in battle. So his hand is actually premature and hopefully we can somehow disrupt. No, we just said the fuck. This means our hand is like 3 monsters or something, or just Mobius. Either way, I'm going to be very, very sad if we lose because of this. Please be Ring. Ring is dead already. He sets a card. We don't know if it's top decked or premature, but it looks like the top decked card. But hopefully we can at least attack over it immediately. Yes, we can. And it goes. But now we have to have the answer to premature. Hopefully his set is not Heavy Storm. It's End Phase Dust. Hopefully we still have answer to premature. Okay. He hits the death card, which is okay. Which is perfect. Now we have premature, serpent, and an unknown card to go against. And the premature loop is not available at the very moment because he still has to bounce our gorilla first, and he has to rely on his top decks to protect the beast, so we still have a chance. But I think it's very interesting that Renjich just lets it go, especially for the high stakes. But that's okay. It's his choice. So he's going for the gorilla bounce here, I think, which should mean that his top deck is protection back row for the next turn. No, he looked the premature. We go, what? Why do we do that? That's weird. I don't like it. I would have waited to see his back row. Maybe it's Mirror Force and now we're fucked. Oh my god, no, 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 no. Oh my god. No fucking way, we threw this game now. We threw it. Oh, at least. There's still hope. Fucking premature looping. Why did we call? Let's see now. We have to have a beater that will not die to Tsukuyomi. We have a beater that will die to Tsukuyomi. Oh my god. Hopefully he doesn't have Tsukuyomi. Tsukuyomi. He's searching. Maybe he is siding out Tsukuyomi's. He searches for Juji, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. So we just have to draw a beater next turn. Shit, he's actually... top decking now, but if he top decks stuff like Metamorphosis or... he top decks back row, of course he would. Oh yeah, I think we have to go aggro here. Fuck Mirror Force, fuck everything. We banish, we go for damage. And we have to survive one more turn. Come on, one more turn. Go fucking go. Please. Come on. And we do it! Fucking Randich, it's your boy! It's your boy! And we're done. Let's go to Discord. See you there.